First we had Back to the Future, then we had Lord of the Rings, and now, yeah, easily I'd say How to Train Your Dragon absolutely belongs as one of the best trilogies ever done. Now I know that's going to sit there and strike up some kind of controversy, because how dare I? I mean, I'd even put up there too, obviously. I mean, the Dark Knight trilogy also belongs up there in my opinion as well. But honestly, it's just one of those things where over the last 8 years, this movie franchise has done a really great job of just silently just putting out amazing film after amazing film. I've been hooked since the first one, and I absolutely adore the second one. To me, the second one was flawless. I mean, I'm just going to throw that out there. There really wasn't anything wrong with the second film. The second film was really deep, really sad, and really great. And with this little quick review, I don't want to sit there and spoil anything with How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World, but I wanted to talk about it and kind of like give you some of the points of why I loved it, why you should go see it, and why I do believe it's one of the better trilogies, a great capper to an amazing trilogy. So the story does start off with Hiccup and Toothless actually going ahead and doing what they were kind of doing in the second film. You can tell not a lot of time has passed, but enough to where everybody's kind of looking to Hiccup to lead, and he's sort of doing that, but like he's kind of almost jerking his responsibilities a little bit. He's still kind of a kid, and he was thrust into the whole you need to be the king, you need to be the chief kind of thing at a really young age at a really terrible time. Obviously, if you haven't seen How to Train Your Dragon 2, I don't know why you're here, but small spoilers, obviously Hiccup's dad passes away in the second film, which leaves him kind of to fill the void. And he has his own ideas of how to do that. And to be honest with you, I think that's one of the big things that I loved about this film, was there were a few flashbacks, some really touching emotional flashbacks between little Hiccup when he was like 5 or 6 and his dad when he still hated dragons and wanted to quote unquote eliminate them all. And it actually gives a little more backstory, a little more emotional pull as to why Hiccup in the beginning of How to Train Your Dragon 2 was actually mapping out and trying to find every little piece, nook and cranny of the world as a whole. I think it's actually really cool, and I've always dug films that could kind of like give small nods and help deepen a particular film or a particular moment in a film while still obviously standing on its own 2 feet and being an amazing film itself. Another really great example of that is like Captain America and the Winter Soldier. For anybody who obviously doesn't know what that one, there's actually a particular scene in that film that actually winds up making Iron Man 2 just a little bit better. Granted, there's nothing that's going to save that final fight scene, but that's a conversation for another day. My point being, though, is obviously the Winter Soldier isn't known for that moment, but obviously my point being is that it's such a great film that it can actually pull up other films to a little bit higher of a level, and I feel like even though the second film didn't need it, this film still winds up doing that in a way. It makes me appreciate the second film even more. Now with the first How to Train Your Dragon, I'd actually give it probably about an 8 out of 10. The second one was definitely 10 out of 10, hands down. From the animation, to the music, the storytelling, and the villain, everything about it was just really great. From captivating, to emotional, to just absolutely amazing. And with this film, I feel like it does a really great job of capturing some of the things that both 1 and 2 did right, while still trying to do its own thing a little bit here or there. Visually, this film is it's freaking amazing. I mean, all of the movies have done a really great job with their visual effects, showing what technology nowadays and some of the artists nowadays can do with this, and it's absolutely amazing. This is no different. I mean, there are some scenes that look so photorealistic. You could swear that they just green screened these characters into it. I mean, hell, even the characters and some of the dragons, you can see individual scales, individual strands of hair. The movie looks fantastic. Music is a treat too, with its Norse themes playing in the background, just helps you feel at home in this world. I mean, I love every single bit of it. Everything. It's a treat to your eyes and your ears, completely alike. The story is actually a really good one. Like I was saying before, this story really focuses on Hiccup as well as Toothless, trying to learn how to be leaders among their kind, where they spend a lot of time with each other, kind of almost dodging responsibility. Both of them have to learn how to be essentially kings of their own kingdoms, where the hidden world, the place where Hiccup actually wants to sit there and eventually take his people to live among the dragons. The biggest thing about this story is obviously the fact that there's another quote-unquote Night Fury, or in this one they name it the Light Fury, which actually winds up becoming a romance to Toothless. I know that's not much of a surprise, but obviously the scenes, you've seen some of them, I know you've seen some of them in some of the trailers. There's some really great funny scenes between her and him, and honestly I think that's the most captivating part of this movie, is really where the second film was very much a character study and, you know, a focusing on Hiccup as a character, and I do believe that the first one was very balanced between the two. This one I feel like does focus a little bit more on Toothless, but it's not actually a bad thing. I feel like it does really help kind of flesh out his character, and it's actually really amazing that they're able to do that with a film with a character who doesn't speak a lick of English. It's all visual storytelling, and they do such a great job with it. There are just some great, captivating scenes between the Light Fury and Toothless. And like I said, there's not an ounce of anything spoken, but it's just you're drawn to it. And that's just kudos to the writers and kudos to the animators. To be able to sit there and do that kind of stuff. Honestly, the film is just a really strong film. And like I said, I don't want to give too much away. There's actually a few things in this movie that took me by surprise. And if you haven't seen the film, I wanted to take you by surprise as well. But really, the film overall is fantastic. But I do have one small gripe. It's actually the main villain, sadly enough. It's Grimmel. And it's sad because it's not that he's not a bad villain. Okay? He's not an absolutely terrible villain. It's just the fact that he's literally a few lines away from being a great villain. And one thing that I feel like they could have done is maybe given him a few different lines of dialogue, you know, changed a few things up in his backstory, or even really just made the film just a smidge longer. I mean, the film's a fairly long film. You know, it's only an hour and 44 minutes long. But, I mean, really, I felt like they easily could have gotten away with making it 2 hours long and give us an extra 15 minutes to really help flesh out the bad guy just a little bit more. Honestly, I felt like Drago from How to Train Your Dragon 2 was a better, deeper villain. And it's where I'm a little sad, because the guy that is in here, Grimmel, is intimidating and is a worthwhile villain in my eyes. It's just he lacks the same depth and the same oomph as Drago had in How to Train Your Dragon 2. And like I said, that could be because the runtime is a little shorter than actually films have been going for. A lot of films actually aim for that 2 hour line, and they decided they wanted to cut it down to an hour and 44 minutes, and that is what it is. But really, like I said, that if I had one gripe with this film, that would be it. Otherwise, if you're a fan of this series, you're going to love this film. I feel like I said before, it's a great cap on the trilogy. I feel like they did a great job wrapping everything up, and it wasn't in a complete pretty bow either. I felt like they did a great job of being able to tell the story that they had, and that they didn't actually have too many compromises. So my final grade actually for How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, is a 9 out of 10. And it does get my seal of approval. It does, when it comes out, belong on your shelf. This is a great film, and honestly, a tribute to why it's so important to not let certain animations get away with being lazy or uninspired. I mean, you're talking about a film, and a trilogy at that, that just does a great job of telling a really great story of two friends, Hiccup and Toothless, who belong in the same type of friendships as Sam and Frodo, or, you know, Gus and Sean from Psych. I mean, these two are wonderful, and they're the biggest reason why you are going to want to go see the film. And the story that's told here with these two is a fairly emotional one, and a good one. Like I said before, it really shows what animation can do. It's a great family film. You know, if you want to take the kids, it's absolutely wonderful. If you want to go by yourself, I did. I went to a late night showing by myself with like 5 other people. But It's absolutely great. You should absolutely go see it in theaters if you get an opportunity. Yeah, I mean, I'm a little sad that it ended, but like I said before, I'm glad that it ended in the way that it did. I felt like it was a near perfect ending. So, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. I'm working on some other stuff. I want to continue working on movie reviews. I'm going to continue doing some writing with movie reviews and game reviews, and I'm also going to continue doing more film with those two as well. So, if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Share it if you can. I appreciate it if you do. If you don't, I am thankful for the view alone. Let me know what you guys think of the film if you have seen it yet, or if you're going to go see it. In any of the comment sections below, whether it's on Facebook, Twitter, or here on YouTube. I do look at them all. And I will go ahead and see you guys on the next On The Shelf. Bye, guys.